I needed to meet this guy who's a drone pilot. Wanted to shoot video together. And then beginning of the year, he asked me if I'd be interested in putting on a barbecue. I met Rob sometime in December, November, something like that, and started hanging out. So we wanted the event close enough where it was accessible to enough people, but far enough to make it special. We spent a ton of time talking to the state, boat captains, the university, trying to figure out where it was feasible, close enough. We thought we had the perfect place, but it was still up in the air.
A lot of my friends, most of my friends have airplanes, I would have to say. So, grew up in the back seat of a Super Cub. Before I could even reach the rudder pedals, I was flying in there. Been flying all my life since I've been a little kid. Yeah, I got a lot of experience of flying a bunch of different airplanes around Alaska, enjoying what Alaska has to offer. You want to get together with your friends and have barbecues, bonfires, and beer. The 3 Bs. We don't have anything. I remember talking to my nephew there about it would be nice to have something like that. And we talked about barbecue out there on my runway and, just inviting everybody. And then nephew came up with a great idea to a much bigger airstrip on a gravel bar.
Rob mentioned it as kind of an idea, I think at first, that he had about putting it together. He asked us to sponsor it, and we were more than happy to, because I just thought it was going to be a really fun event. I don't really know if I knew what to expect, since it was the first time doing it, or the first time I had ever heard of anything kind of like it, with having the boating and flying in elements to it. I was kind of expecting like a festival type feel with the music and just people hanging out on the beach, and that part was definitely true. It had this really nice kind of small community feel to it, just because it was isolated on this sandbar, so not everybody could be there, but you could spread out. So there was different, kids playing over here doing badminton, and then people listening to music, people eating, and then people still hanging out on their boats or in the water. So I think it definitely met whatever expectations I had and went above that, but I really didn't know. I thought, okay, this is gonna be fun, we'll give it a shot. It came together really well.
I was really astounded as to what came about. I did not expect bands out on a sandbar. Two bands out there playing on sandbar. Did not expect the boating community.
Because I think sometimes when you're at an event and there's like a stage and people dancing by it or whatever, you feel like you're not a part of the event if you're further away from it, but maybe you don't want to be overcrowded. But here, it kind of provided the opportunity to do that, where you could still hear the music everywhere, but you wouldn't have to be like right in the action, I guess, per se. But it's kind of different. I haven't really seen that at a lot of other events.
We had enough space to where people could distance if they wanted to and mingle if they wanted to. It was inclusive for everyone that showed up. The majority of people said they had never been to anything like it or experienced it before.
We had different views of what we expected. I think he always kind of had this vision of a different crowd versus what I had in mind and versus what actually ended up happening.
Yeah. I was looking at it, man, it should probably be funny.
Everyone was excited to be there. Sunshine, beautiful day. We had friends that I invited and they didn't know what to think when they first just getting drug out to the middle of nowhere. And then they get out there and, get some food in them, get a drink in them. And this is one of the best experiences they had all year.
There was really someone that fit probably every age group. It was really varied. I don't know, like sometimes when you go to concerts or festivals, they all fit like a certain type or something, but it didn't feel that way. It was just a really mixed, kind of like how Fairbanks is, I guess. So it's just a random collage of people.
A buddy of mine counted, he came back with right around 500 people out there through the day.
Usually you don't get to just be kind of in the middle of a beach in the midst of all of that. Like you're either on the edge of the river or something, so that was kind of neat too, to be able to kind of have this little area, but still look around every direction and see the water, the river, the sky, the plains, and like the trees and stuff. So it was very nice. It was a pretty unique, I guess, Alaskan experience.
As far as I know, it was the first of its kind. There was power, there was a stage, there was tents, there was 7 grills going, and hundreds of people.
Yeah, it was really unique to have this free event where people are not only getting to have music and participate in this for free, but they're also getting fed. It was pretty impressive feat.
Like I always said, I kind of told Robert about the sponsors, and Mother Nature was the biggest sponsor. Mother Nature just really laid it out just beautifully and perfectly.
We looked at the almanac to see what the history and chance of rain was.
It's nice to be at a place that's nice and warm, where you can go out with a t-shirt and sleep outside in a tent without getting wet.
I mean, it feels funny to say it, but the perfect weather, because it was just a gorgeous day. It wasn't really cloudy or windy or anything. This mac and cheese that you had was kind of smoked, or I don't know what was magical about it, but it was very good. And there was plenty of food, really. It was delicious and everyone seemed to enjoy it. And I'm a little bit picky at it.
Absolutely phenomenal. I actually went vegetarian for 2 weeks after the fly-in because I had eaten so much meat.
Oh my God, there was 2 vegans that were totally converted, over to beef brisket. So they had to load their plate up on brisket, so it's the best.
The thing that impressed me the most was the sound. The speaker setup that we had, Charmin, who ran the sound, you could go half a mile away and hear everything perfectly. Way beyond what I think anyone expected. I think the audio was perfect. A big shout out to all the sound guys.
Really, you could hear pretty well from, even at one point we went out to a friend's boat and we're sitting on it for a bit, and you could still, not overwhelmingly, but you could faintly hear the music. But at the same time, when you were close up, it wasn't overpowering. The quality of the music was really good, and it wasn't too in your face and loud.
I believe we had one of the best, if not the best, sound guy out there, and we were blessed to have him and his crew running sound. Jet boats, outboard, airboats, kayakers, Sea-Doo show up. A large airliner and cargo plane. So we had all modes of transportation. We didn't have air traffic control out there, which meant we were able to land planes, have them come and go, but it also meant we had to make sure that there was communication in the air. We had multiple drones out there, helicopters, just all these aircraft coming and going. And Rob's uncle communicated with every single aircraft and the drone pilots to make sure that everything went off without a hitch.
A local air taxi, Wright's Air, was just taking off constantly. They flew nonstop. I think they got 3 Helios going back and forth from Fairbanks International.
From what I heard, we about doubled the air traffic for Fairbanks. Having all the planes take off and land right on the sandbar with music, great food, and just a great atmosphere, it was surreal. The planes, when they flew over, they felt like if you jumped high enough, you could touch them as they buzzed us.
And the real unique thing that I really did not expect was the cleanliness of how the people that showed up really kept things clean.
We had a cleanup crew that went around and picked up little stuff, but it might be like a straw. We left the island exactly how we found it.
I'm of the motto, leave it like you found it. You know, this is Alaska, keep it clean. I really want to say thank you for that.
Without our sponsors, it wouldn't have been possible. The ones that saw an opportunity, the idea that we were trying to make and took a chance on us was huge because it had never been done before.
It was just a good, safe, fun event.
And I think it's something different and an opportunity for people to get to go out and do something that's a combination of so many wonderful things that you love to enjoy. So it's neat to see it all put together. And I think it's a great thing to try to get the community involved. I guess the biggest thing is I see a lot of growth for it. So
I think we need a camaraderie time. Maybe we'll have a night beforehand where we light the torch, where we light a bonfire to signal, hey, tomorrow it's on. And anybody that gets up and flies around Fairbanks will see the bonfire downriver.
I see this as not just a one-year thing. I don't see this as a 2-year or every other year thing. This is an event that is going to continue to gain traction. It's going to grow to the point where we're going to have to limit the number of people that are able to come out to the sandbar. I love our musicians that played out there, but I believe that we will have bigger musicians from around and out of state. The event will not just grow in size, but grow in number of days. I see it as a 3-day, 4-day, long weekend event.
You'll make friends. You will, and you'll make memories. It'll never leave me. You've got a friend.
Thank you for making this event possible. Thank you for attending. Thank you for allowing us to put this event on.